Welcome, Jason. We're going to talk today about the National Disability Insurance Scheme and how it's going to affect you. It's a brand new scheme, a new health reform that's coming in, and the NDIS is an overarching insurance agency. We're not going to be dealing with them. We'll be dealing with the National Disability Insurance Agency. So they'll be a bit, I guess, like Centrelink. They'll have a shop front. People will be in that shop front. And you'll need to go and see an NDIA planner who's part of that NDIA. And like I said, they'll have a shop front here somewhere in Caboolture or all throughout Queensland. We'll go and visit them and we'll have to fill in this plan here. Just if we don't fill in this plan, we can't get an allocation of funding for the support needs that you have. Mm-hmm. So currently right now you get money from disability services and it comes to connections. All of that's going to change. So what's going to happen is that you need to have a planning session, not with disability services now, but with the NDIA planner, which is what this booklet is. What Connections has done is redesign this booklet to make it simple for you. So we're going to use these cards that you've kind of all picked already and talk about a good and a bad day. We need to talk about a bad day first because the support needs are different. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Different for you when you're not feeling so well as they are on a good day. So we really need to pull out exactly what those support needs are. Who does it and do they work?
Yeah.
So first off, what we'll do is we'll look at your bad day. What is it like for you on a bad day?
I get a bit of anxiety and some days I get it's hard to think. The thoughts aren't clear. I get really confused.
Sure.
I just feel like I don't want to go out anywhere. I just want to stay home.
So you feel a bit isolated?
Yeah, a bit isolated. Yeah, I don't find it hard to be in groups of lots of people.
Excellent. Okay.
Because it makes me really anxious.
Yeah. Who's around you on those days? Is there anyone that you can call on that might help you when you're feeling anxious?
I've got support worker here at Connections who helps me.
What do they do for you when you're feeling isolated and feeling a bit withdrawn? I guess that's what happens, you feel withdrawing from the world.
Yeah.
So do they do something for you that helps you on those days?
Usually they'll give me a phone call.
Great.
Once or twice a week just to see how I'm travelling and check in, and usually ask me if I want to visit.
Okay.
And I'll come around and just have a chat for half an hour.
And does that work for you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's just, it helps me to relax a little bit and not be so frightened of meeting people. It sort of helps me to get used to talking when I'm feeling on a bad day.
So do you feel comfortable right now talking to me about a bad day? Do you think we can create a story on the ground with the cards just to show your bad day?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, when you're ready, let's start.
All right. So,
what have you got?
That's
your story?
My story.
Great.
These are the feelings that I feel on some of those days: tormented, uneven, discontent, and resentful.
Okay.
And the people that use sometimes can help me as my partner.
Great.
My social worker. And my self-help groups that I go to sometimes.
Excellent. Yeah. So all these people help you and they're in your life. You would feel comfortable calling on them on your bad day?
Yep.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
All right, we might just get rid of some of these words because they're pretty awful words, aren't they?
Yep.
So let's just look at what these people actually do for you. On your bad day, what does your self-help group do for you?
Well, I've got this card, Strategies to Overcome Problems. Right. So I usually meet up with them and we talk about what's happening in our lives, and they help me to be able to cope with some of the anxiety that I feel. And I think even just going to be with the group helps me to get out of the house and stop being on my own all the time.
That's great. Yep. What else do you think that they might do?
Sometimes we go out on activities.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Good.
Go out and do things. Yeah.
It's great. That must make you feel better.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Sometimes we go down to Bribey Island and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what about your social worker? What do you think your social worker might do for you?
Well, I got counselling.
Okay.
They were able to help me talk through some of the issues that I have. and they also help me with some strategies to overcome the anxiety.
Oh, that's
And
great.
the confused thoughts to be able to cope with that.
That's great, Jason.
Yeah.
That's really good. Well, we might not focus too much on this. What we'll do is we'll build your story out a lot further because, like I said, money is equated to all the support. So we need to really work out exactly what the self-help groups does for you and when.
Yeah.
So we're going to create a really big arm and identify each support that they do. That might come down to someone ringing you about your medication in the morning or transport or stuff like that. You might need a home modification. So we need to really expand that out. I don't want to focus a lot on the bad day, but we really need to focus on what is done here because the government or the NDIA will put money towards this for you and support you around this issue.
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do is just have a bit of a break because I don't want you to get stuck in this bad day. And now we're going to build a really good picture about a good day and see what we're going to do later in our life, like 6 months, 12 months, and maybe even 2 years. What sort of dreams and goals you might have. Okay, great.
Good.
Jason, thanks for doing that in your bad day. Now let's now focus on your good day. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the feelings you have on your good day.
Yep.
Oh, you got some cards.
Got some cards. I couldn't really find a lot there that sort of described my good day because it's very different to my bad day. So I found some that were sort of suitable. I think I feel clear, so I can think clearly and I can act clearly and all that sort of thing. I feel centered and I feel competent.
Now, Jason, I know you've identified as being Aboriginal. I have some Aboriginal cards. Would you like me to grab them for you?
Yeah.
Would that help you?
Yeah, I think so. Could do.
Told you I'd get you. I even have strength support cards.
Oh, okay.
Indigenous support cards. So have a flick through them and see if anything speaks to you.
Okay.
It's just another tool that we use just to help you kind of look at your life.
That one's a good one. About art.
Do you want to just tell me a little bit about that card, what that card means for you?
I like to do poetry. And I thought about sometimes go to a poetry group, would like to. And that sort of reminds me of it. And I do sometimes do art as well, do some Aboriginal art. So
you would do that on your good day?
Yeah, I do that on my good day. Sometimes I do it on my bad day, but generally I feel it seems to go better when I do it on my good day.
That's excellent.
I can do more creative with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has anyone does that art group with you? Is there anyone that supports you or is with you on that art day?
Well, I got these to my sister and my friend. So they sometimes take me down to some of the groups that I go to, and sometimes can help with some of the equipment, like for art supplies and that sort of thing.
So what other things do you think that your sister might do? She seems like a fairly prominent, they're the cards that you've chosen.
Yeah.
So what other things do you think your sister might help you with? And being that she might do things that you don't identify as being a support.
Yeah.
So she assist you on things that you might not think are a support when you're feeling good, but are on a bad day? Does she offer transport?
Yeah, she'll often drive me to my GP appointments and my case manager appointments.
Now, the reason I ask you that, Jason, is because that could be an allocation of money.
Yeah.
So a transportation, when you need to go to your GP or a psychiatrist or the medical health centre, and your sister does that, there could be money allocated for that. That's part of a support.
Do you think with the poetry group and the art group, because I find when I do the poetry and the art that I feel really relaxed.
Yes.
It's almost like a therapy for me.
Yes.
Do you think the cost of that group,
I do.
It could be funded?
I do. Under the NDIA plan, we encourage you to think outside the box. Yeah. So it's not about what supports.
So I can get a massage?
Yes. If you have back pain and it's seen as reasonable and necessary, most definitely. Okay. So it's about thinking outside of the box. What we've always done, Jason, right now is not the way this sector is going to move. It's going to be, you've got a lot more choice and control over your funding. So you can now choose stuff, and if your art group is therapeutic for you and you feel that sense of peace, you feel clear and centred.
Well, because it gets me out of the house. I socialise with people, whereas otherwise I'd be at home doing nothing, and when I'm at home doing nothing, my thoughts start to play up. I get anxious and paranoid and all that sort of stuff. So.
And that's part of explaining it during the NDIA planning session. If you are able to say that and we can write that down in here or visualise it somehow, then there could be a money attached to that. If that's therapeutic and seen as reasonable and necessary, then Jason,
Okay,
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very good.
That's good. Because the other ones I picked up was physical wellbeing activities, so getting out and trying to be fitter.
Great. Well, we know that physical fitness helps mental illness, yes.
And, doing things like yoga groups and that sort of thing helps to relax my mind. And
is there a local group that maybe you would attend?
I would like to look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might need some support doing that.
Yeah.
Your support worker might help you identify that, and then maybe going and having a look, checking it out.
Yeah. And just because I do casual work,
great.
I like to try and keep it if I can. I'd like to down the track be able to do it maybe part-time or full-time.
So then when we look at employment, we could look at that a little bit differently and see, is there maybe some courses you might want to do? Is there a TAFE course that might help you with your employment? Do you want to seek full-time employment?
Yep.
So maybe start thinking about what it is in the employment sector that you want to do. Is there some training? Is there a TAFE course? Is there a Cert 3 or Cert 4 diploma, or maybe university?
Yeah, it's probably not some. I mean, I'm okay doing the casual because at the moment it gives me flexibility with the times when I'm not feeling well. But down the track, I think once I learn some more strategies with some of those support groups and that, it would help me to maybe get a bit more hours at work.
Excellent.
Yeah, and maybe a course or something would be good too.
Yeah. So what sort of goals do you think you might have, Jason, for the next 6 months? I'm just going to take some notes because we haven't got a lot of cards here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take some notes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So think about your life in 6 months. How would it look for you?
Hopefully still working.
Okay, yep.
So keep that job. Probably a bit more getting out of the house a bit more, going and socialising with people.
Okay.
Making
what is
some
that?
friends.
What do you mean socialising? Like, what does that mean?
So just getting into groups that I'm with other people who have the same interests as me.
Okay.
So I mean.
So that would be art or poetry?
Art or poetry, yeah. Maybe look at some other types of activities that a community does.
Great.
That are out in the community. And try and make some friendships there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's great, Jason. What we can do now is we can actually fill your story in and put it in here, or you can do that at home with your significant other, your partner, whoever sort of supports you.
Yep.
I'd encourage you to take your time to fill this participant statement in because, like I said to you before, we really need to identify the supports that you receive because money is equated to those supports.
Yeah.
So it's key that we build big arms, about who does what. My sister, you've got your sister and your friend there. Really think about what it is they do for you, when they do it, and if it's working well. Because now under the NDIS, you've got more choice and control. Start thinking about some of those things you want to do. If you want to have a massage, then I have back pain, then maybe I can have a massage. So it's about who would take me there, who would do that. So start to think about, you're not tied into an agency anymore. You're tied into whatever you want to do. The choice and control now belongs with you, Jason.
That's good. Yeah.
So the first key thing, we've done the workshop and we've got to work through this workbook. But before you do that, you have to get onto the NDIS website and check My Access Checkup, and that checks your eligibility. Now, some people with mental illness are going to fall through the gaps, and that's unfortunate, but some people won't be able to access the NDIS. So remember I talked about the NDIA shop fronts that are coming up? In those NDIA shop fronts will be what we call local area coordinators. The NDIA planner will sit in there as well. They'll do this workshop with you, this workshop.
So they're the ones that look at my plan
Yes.
and decide whether I get funding or not for that?
That's right. And if you don't or can't access funding, the local area coordinator, who will also be in that shop front, will be able to assist you with referrals and information and link with other services that may give you some supports. Okay, so it's not, even though you might not be eligible, I'm hoping that you will be, but even if you're not, there is still light at the end of the tunnel for you.
Still other options.
There's still a lot of other options,
Yeah, that's good.
So do you feel comfortable with what we've done today?
Yeah, I think so. I'll have to talk to my support worker and really see what supports I can put down there so I can get money.
Exactly. It's about building those arms. Make sure that you get who does what, when they do it, and what they actually do. So looking right down to the nitty-gritty, as my support worker rings me, take my medication, or helps me on my bad day to get up, clean my house, or do those sorts of things that we just sort of take for granted. Mum does this and Dad does that.
Yeah, like when we were talking on my bad day, and the support work does give me a phone call once or twice a week.
Yes.
I think Mum calls me every now and then to check in.
See, that's great. That's a support, Jace.
Yeah.
So write them all down and we'll put them in the plan. And like I said, it's just about building it. The more you work with the cards, the easier it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting to think about things a lot more in depth.
Yeah.
All right. So have you got any other questions?
No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty well covered.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in today.
That's right.
And we'll get your plan written.
All right. Thanks, Laurie.
Thanks, Jason.